All right, folks, gotta love the time change. I can actually film after work and the sun is still out, so I get that natural lighting, which is always a good thing. Okay, down the same path, this new thing I'm trying out, I'm gonna go with another meditation session. And as sort of the universe or fortune has it, normally I do my meditation, then I take a screenshot of the quote, and then I put some notes in. Well, for whatever reason, I've lost all my notes. So I'm going to go off the cuff, real time. I'm going to use today's meditation, and I'm just going to kind of go freestyle, free form with it and see how that goes. So today's is improving ourselves doesn't involve doing anything. All that's required is letting go of habitual patterns of thought and behavior. Again, I'll repeat that last piece of it. All that's required is letting go of habitual patterns of thought and behavior. And that's something very interesting to think about. It's about letting go. It's about not adding on to the stuff that's already going on. If you want to make a change, perhaps explore the idea of letting go of something and seeing if that affects the change that you want or creates the change that you want. And that kind of goes back to some of the stuff that I've been talking about, where when we're born, we're good enough, and we kind of layer on a lot of things that potentially aren't helpful, or they might have been helpful at the time, but as we get older, as we get more wise, perhaps they're not as useful anymore. And so it's about letting go of those things. And in some cases, it might be more about coming to awareness about those things and perhaps finding a different way of using whatever habits or whatever coping mechanisms maybe you used in the past. Maybe there's a way to reframe them, or perhaps let them go altogether and be a little bit more free. So that's sort of what this meditation session was talking about, is more along the lines of letting go of things, not necessarily integrating or adjusting, but more of not adding on. You don't necessarily need to do something new to change the way that you behave. Sometimes it's just good enough to let go of something. Big gulp of water. So I'm trying to think about where maybe that kind of could apply to me, and I can share that with you folks. Maybe that would give you some inspiration. The immediate thing that comes up for me, and this is way easier to say this than do it, but here's a perfect example of letting go being something that improves your life rather than needing to add on to improve your life. Letting go of fear. I've said it before in past videos. A lot of what I've done in my life, or a lot of where my life has led me, is because I did some stuff out of fear, out of being afraid of trying something new and instead going with something comfortable. And I'm trying to change that. That's what some of this filming is about. I'm not always super comfortable talking in front of a camera, especially when I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm just talking to the camera and I don't have an audience. I do after the fact. After it's filmed and I post it, then I've got an audience. But in the moment, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I'm just kind of talking to a dot on my camera. So it's about letting go of that fear. That's what I'm trying to do, and be more vulnerable, be more open, communicate off the top of my head rather than trying to have stuff scripted out. So letting go of something, letting go of those fears, those insecurities, and just being myself. So maybe that's something that the folks out there might be interested in doing as well, is trying to let go of whatever's holding you back, whatever fears are holding you back. Be aware that maybe those fears are not real and it's time to let go of them. And again, I kind of touched on this. Sometimes the things that we find ourselves doing, the things that hold us back, and we do it as a habit, usually stem from a coping mechanism many, many years ago, perhaps even as a kid. And if you're an adult now, those coping mechanisms are probably not appropriate. They're probably not, those mechanisms probably haven't matured with you. So maybe it's time to let those go as well. All right, I'm way over time. Not way over. So I'm going to end it here. Peace.